everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things. And this is the spoiler kind of. I'm just gonna talk about some parts of Breathe by James Nestor. Um, I if you're coming from my review, you know, or if you watched my review, if not, there should be like a little bar up here. You can switch over to the review if you want. Or you could stay here and I can spoil parts of the book for you. It's up to you. Um I said before, this was kind of like a like someone took a cauldron because it's getting into witchy season. Okay, so somebody took a cauldron and threw in a science book, a biography book, and a self-help book. And then added some other people's stories and stirred it all up. And that's what this is. Um I did like parts of it. Parts of it were boring to me, obviously, but it was still interesting. So I liked the biography type parts, and I liked the stories of other people's. I don't know how to explain it. So it starts off with, I'm assuming, James Nestor, because we don't really know the name of the person we're starting with. But it starts off. Well, if I can get to the page, I should have put my little tabs in, but I didn't. It starts off with him looking at a place that looks like it's out of Amityville. It has the chipped paint and dusty windows and a menacing shadows cast by moonlight. I walk through the gates, up a flight of creaky stairs, and knock on the door. And so he talks about how he goes to his first breathing class, I think is what it's supposed to be. Meditation, what I would probably call a meditation class. And so the instructor person just has a tape that they put on, or cassette. Yeah, it's a cassette tape, and pushes the button, and then they all start following along with an Indian accent flowed from the speaker. Just a moment. Sorry, my kid knocked on the door. Okay, where was I? So 10, maybe 20 minutes passed, and I started getting annoyed and feeling a bit resentful that I chose to spend my evening inhaling dusty air on the floor of an old Victorian. I opened my eyes and looked around. Everyone had the same somber, bored look. Prisoner eyes appeared to be sleeping. He he kind of has names for the different people he sees in the room, by the way. And so he didn't want to just get up and leave because he didn't want to be rude. But he talks about how, he finds a blanket, and I'm not going to read the whole first chapter to you, okay? And where was it? Um he finds a blanket, wraps up, and then starts breathing like he's told to. And he returned to the class next week because during that process, he started to sweat, and he wanted to understand why. But he didn't mention it to anyone. So like I liked those parts. I liked hearing the story of, where, why he started doing, this whole search. And later in the book, we find out that he has he had problems with his nasal canals and stuff like that. And you get to find out more about how they fix that. He gets tubes stuck in his nose. It's really not an interest. I mean, yeah. So he like you get to go through his medical stuff with him in this book. And some of it is like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then some of it's like, ooh. And honestly, it's a lot about your nose. It's a lot. It has a lot of stuff in here about your nose and your airways and your lungs. And it kind of got tedious at some points. It talks about inflammation of your throat and polyps and snoring and sleep apnea and being a mouth breather and the difference between moistened air and dry air or heated air or unheated air and a whole bunch of other stuff. And right now I feel like a mouth breather because I've been packing and some stuff was dusty and my allergies are just like terrible. So like I'm like reading this book and I was like keep my mouth closed. Um and it talks about there was one, oh my gosh, where was it? I don't remember what chapter or anything, but apparently you can heal yourself with the power of breathing, and there are different ways to go about it. And my favorite one that he talks about is the 5.5 breathing, which is you breathe in for 5 seconds and you breathe out for 5 seconds. If you do yoga, you probably already do something like this. You breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, and then you let it out for 4 seconds. I think it's called box breathing. And then you hold it, and then you go up and then down, over. It's the hold and then down. I'm going opposite direction than what I should be going. There's talks of a tribe that used to, or still does, I'm not positive. Some of the background information was a little, I wasn't sure if it was like the past, the far past, just like a few years ago. But they would purposely, like, even feeding their babies, they would, chest feed. That's a nice way to say it, I guess. Longer so that their kids would have the better mouth control. And then whenever they started feeding real foods, they would purposely like stick the food in their mouth and then like clamp their lips closed so that they were only breathing through their nose. And then for like a long time, the moms would stand over their babies while they were sleeping, and anytime the mouth popped open, they would clamp the lips shut to train the body to breathe only through the nose. And some of the elders in that tribe wouldn't even laugh, like open their mouth to laugh. So there's a whole bunch of information in this book and a bunch of research in this book. And I think sometimes it got too researchy for me, and I was like, that's why it took me so long to read this book. I think I've had this book for over a month. I don't remember. Like, I have to turn it in tomorrow. um, uh, I don't even know. Oh, okay. Oh, I wanted to talk about, I kind of talked about it in my review. Blah, 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 blah. But in the back of the book, there's an appendix. Like you can see that. There's an appendix on breathing methods. And so there's this section on how to hold your fingers and do the breathe through one side and then switch to breathe through the other. Which is, it's good for, like, if you feel like you're getting sick. If you hear noises, my kid just brought in a toy. I'm almost done with the video, so I'm not gonna stop. There's breathing coordination. There's coherent breathing or resonant breathing, which is the 5-second rule I was talking about. And when you do these breathings, you're supposed to make sure that you're expanding your belly whenever you breathe in. Don't push it. Don't like force it out, because then you're not really breathing where you're supposed to be breathing. It explains it. Uh, controlled pauses of breathing, which like I was saying with my yoga breathing, you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you release for 4, you hold for 4, you breathe in for 4. You just keep going in that box. Nose songs, which I don't remember exactly what that is. It might just be like a hum. Yeah, a hum. Walking and running, but breathing through your nose while you're doing it. Yeah. And then how to decongest your nose. That's interesting. And there's a section on chewing and the proper way to chew. And it's a workout for chewing. It's not just like chewing food. I wanted to make sure I explained that, because when I first read about it, I was like, what? And then a different nervous system. Uh, I don't know how to explain. Oh, okay. So it's like breathing, like how you should breathe if like you get hurt or you're in pain. And there's a few things on there about that. And this one I know about, this one down here. I can't pronounce it. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm not gonna try that. But it's one of the yoga ones. Like it's the Om and the, oh, look at that. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds, hold for 2, and then repeat that for 40 minutes. I have never done that long. And oh, here's my box breathing that I was telling you about. It's in here. I forgot I didn't think. But box breathing is good for staying calm, focusing. Whenever you're feeling tense, it's supposed to help release the tension. And then the longer that you can do that, the better it is for your lungs. Just a moment. Uh, breath hold walking, which is a technique that is supposed to increase carbon dioxide. And yeah, like there's all of these techniques in here, and then there's notes on like where he got his information, and it's long, and there's like dictionary type thing in the index, and then we have James Nestor. And I'm not saying it was a bad book, but I was not prepared. I was thinking it was going to be a more self-help book, and I was not prepared. Should have read The New Science of the Lost Art. Because there was a lot of science, and I was not prepared for a lot of science. So I think it took me longer to want to read this book, and it got down to I had no more, like, I couldn't do any more, like, whenever you have the library book, you can go online and, like, renew or recheck out the book. I had ran out of those, and I went in, and I was like, "Can I please check this out again? I'm almost done with it." And the lady was like, "Okay, but this is the last time. Like, it has to go back on the shelf before you can get it again." I was like, "Okay." So that's what I did. I had to force myself through it. I didn't read all. I don't. There were some parts that I skimmed through. Okay. I read most of it, but there were parts that I skimmed through. Okay. That's all I'm going to talk about. Did you read this book? What did you think of this book? Did you have problems reading it too? Oh no. I know why I keep going blurry. I forgot to turn off the focus. Anyway, I hope that you liked this video. And I hope my kid wasn't too noisy in the background, and give me a thumbs up. If you give me a thumbs down, please let me know why. Was I too rambly? Did I say too many times? I have problems with that. I know. Did I talk with my hands too much? Did you not like the way I was shaking the book around? Was there too much of a glare? The glare is gonna happen, unfortunately, because it has the plasticky top, and since it's a library book, I can't take it's taped on. It's glued on. Oh, it's glued on. I thought it was just taped on. It's glued on. Can't tear up the library book. Subscribe if you like watching my videos, and share with your friends. Share my video with your friends. That's all I have to say. I will see you on my next video.